Books presents a Lone Star audio production of But Not for Love by Edwin Shrake. This unabridged recording is narrated by George Guidell. Lone Star Audio is a celebration of Texas authors and the spirit of the American West. This book is copyrighted 1964 by Edwin Shrake. This recording is copyrighted 2004 by Recorded Books, producer and publisher of Lone Star Audio. The author opens with the following two quotes. The first is from the book of Job, chapter 7, verse 21. "And why dost thou not pardon my transgression, and take away mine iniquity? For now shall I sleep in the dust, and thou shalt seek me in the morning, but I shall not be." The second quote is by William Shakespeare. "Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love." And now, But Not for Love.
All morning, Jacob Iles, who had a purple eye and a black ear, sat in the lemon sunlight on the afterdeck of the yacht Silver Spoon and wound line onto fishing reels. It was a job he would have left for the mate, but on this particular morning, Jacob Iles felt the need of doing simple and boring work as a penance. His head ached. There was a pain in his chest that made him reluctant to breathe, and his vision blurred as he looked through dark glasses. When he finished each reel, Jacob Iles would check to see that it was seated on its rod, and then he would lay the equipment on the deck and put his feet up onto the rail and look between his white tennis sneakers at the tanker unloading crude oil at the refinery across the channel. The tanker rode low with the water flapping at its black hull. As oil flowed through the long pipe, the tanker's red underbelly would begin to rise from the water, and then the pipe would withdraw, and the tanker would slide down the channel into the Gulf of Mexico. Many of the men Iles could see on the tanker's deck would never come back to Port Agnes, and in a way that morning he envied them. Iles reached up beneath the rim of his dark glasses and touched the bruises around his left eye. He frowned and lifted another reel out of the tackle box beside his chair. After 3 weeks of wind and rough water, the day had broken clear and calm, and the channel was flat as a mirror. The white and silver tanks of the refinery shone like pearls against the blue steel of the sky. 2 small shrimp boats dragged nets through the gray water. Around the shrimpers swarmed clouds of gulls waiting for the winches to turn and the nets to rise and the trash fish to be thrown over the sides. It was a reassuring sight for Jacob Iles. No matter how unclean he felt when he awoke in the morning, he began to purify himself when he reached the water. Boats and fish and the Gulf were like ventilating fans that blew sweet air through his soul. These things, he felt, were basic. They took him back to the very beginning, to a time of innocence, to a God. The sounds of the dock cradled him. He shut his eyes and listened to ropes creaking, to water sloshing at the pilings, to the jungle bird screeching of the gulls, to spraying and cursing as captains along the dock hosed down their boats. 50 feet away was the noise of an electric drill punching holes for screws that would fasten a new windshield into a flying bridge. Iles could smell the salt breath of the water, the paint and gasoline and grease, and the smoke of exhausts. Because of the long period of bad weather, no charters had gone out that morning, but perhaps by noon the fishermen would come, and nearly every boat along the dock would be pounding down the channel toward Corpus Christi Bay or into the open Gulf. That was where Iles wanted to be, 70 miles into the blue-black water, trolling.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.